Hi guys, today we are going to see about Unit 4, that's a designing arithmetic building blocks and subsystem design in VLSI design. So already we have discussed about 3 units. In Unit 1 we have discussed about the basics of MOS transistor and its operation and also basic delay elements. In Unit 2 we have discussed about combination circuits. In that we have discussed about the different type of combination circuits and that also power dissipation. In Unit 3 we have discussed about different types of sequential circuits, then pipelining and different architectures. Then in the Unit 4 we are going to discuss about basic data bus circuits and memory systems. So these are the contents we are going to discuss. First one is a general purpose processors, then digital paths, adders, multipliers, shifters, ALUs, power and speed trade-off, memory classifications, memory architectures, memory core and memory periphery. So in the first one, this is the general digital processor architecture. So in that we are having a input output element, memory, then control and data paths. So in that we are mainly going to concentrate only on data paths and memory circuits. So example for data paths are adders, shifters, these are the examples. So this is the basic data path circuits. So in that we are having a register, adder, shifter and multiplier. We are giving the data in the parallel form, then we are getting the data in the bit by bit. So it's called as a bit slice design. And the next it's a adder. So you already know it's a full adder. In the full adder you're having a 3 inputs, that's a B and C in, 2 outputs, sum and carry. So in that we are having a 3 different terms. One is a carry generator term, it's equal to A into B. Then carry delay term, it's a bar B bar. Then carry propagate term, it's a XR B. So if carry propagate term is 1, then we have to transmit the carry to next step. So this is the ripple carry adder. So for the full adder we are adding a single bit. For ripple carry adder we are adding a multiple bits. For n bit adder we need a n full adders. For 4 bit adder we need a 4 full adders. So this is the total delay of the full adder. That's how ripple carry adder TD is equal to O of n. Then T adder is equal to n minus 1 into T carry plus T sum. Then next one it's a carry lookout adder. Why we are going for a carry lookout adder is, so in carry in triple carry adder we are having a last carries depends on previous carry. So each block is containing carry that have to transmit to next step. But in carry lookout adder, last adder is depends only on the first adder. So this is carry lookout adder. So these are the equations for carry generate and carry propagate. Then if you are substituting Ci plus 1 is equal to 0, then you will have C0 is equal to G0 plus P0 Ci into 0. Then next consequent, if you are getting C1, you have to replace with a C0. Similarly, you will get C in C0, C1, C2 and C3. So this is a general diagram of a carry lookout adder. So in the input side we are having a carry propagate term. In the output side we are having a XOR gates. In the in between carry lookout adder we have to draw the logic diagram for Ci is equal to 0, Ci is equal to 1, Ci is equal to 2 up to Ci is equal to n. Then next one it's a Manchester carry chain. So in the Manchester carry chain we have to design using 2 circuits. One is a static circuit, another one is a dynamic circuit. So in the static design we don't have any clock pulse, but in dynamic design we will have a clock pulse. So this is the static circuit, the next one is a dynamic circuit. This is for a single bit. Then next one it's a carry chain adder. So here we are using that same logic for multiple bits. So here I'm having a 3 bits for 4 bits, C0, C1, C2 and C3. Then this is a total delay for a Manchester carry chain. Then TP is equal to 0.69 summation of C, then into summation of RJ. So R and C is the that's a equivalent network for that Manchester carry chain. Then these are the advantage disadvantage of this adders. Then advantage, transistor count is reduced, parasitic capacity is also reduced by using a static logic. If you are using a dynamic logic, we have a better speed performance when compared to mirror adder and transmission gate adder. At disadvantage, threshold variation problem arise in static logic then increase propagation delay in dynamic logic. These are the disadvantages. Then next adder is a special adders. First one, it's a carry bypass adder. So here we are bypassing the carry to last step. So here we are using extra one multiplexer. If BP is a control signal, if BP is equal to P0, P1, P2 and P3, it's a multiplication of all the propagate term. If all the propagate term for a 4-bit triple carry adder is equal to 1, then we have to skip the carry to last step. So another name of carry bypass adder is carry skip adder. Then if this BP value is equal to 0, you have to perform the normal operation. If BP value is equal to 1, you can skip the value to last step. Then these are the advantage and disadvantage of this carry skip adder. Then next one, carry selected. This is the another important adder. So here we are using a multiplexer to select the adder, to select the carry, whether carry is equal to 1 or carry is equal to 0. So this is a general diagram. So here we have to, for single bit addition, we have to add 2 adders. For carry is equal to 0, I have to add one full adder. For carry is equal to 1, I have to use the another full adder. Then output of the each full adder is given to one multiplexer. Then on carry also given to another multiplexer. If Cin is equal to 0, the output of first full adder is selected. If Cin is equal to 1, output of the second adder is selected. Similarly for carry also, if Cin is equal to 0, output of the first carry is selected. If Cin is equal to 1, output of the second one is selected. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of this carry select adder. That's a carry propagation delay is smaller when compared to ripple carry adder. Then reduced computation time. Then disadvantages, the area and power also high because we are using a 2 adders for single addition. Then next is a multiplexer. So this is the for array single multiplication, we have to perform the normal multiplication. Then this is the array multiplier structure. Then next one, it's a velocity multiplication. So in the array multiplication, we need for two numbers we need a one for half adder. For 3 numbers we need a one full adder. To reduce that, we are using a velocity multiplication. So here totally we are needing a 2 half adders and 4 full adders in the velocity multiplication. Then next one is a shifter. So it's a similar to our shift register. Here we are using a transistor to shift the operation. So here it's a binary shifter. Then this is called as a parallel shifter. So next one, it's a power and speed trade-off. So while considering power and speed trade-off, we have to optimize our area, then speed and also power. So in the area optimization, we have to use the proper logic technology, then you have to use the proper logic style, then architecture. Then for power dissipation also, we have to use the reduce the power supply, we need to reduce. Then power reduction using pipelining, then multiple supply voltage, then multiple threshold circuit. So these are the techniques we have to use to reduce the power. Then this is the for power management, the dynamic power voltage scaling DVS we have to use. Then throughput is equal to number of operations divided by unit time. So if you are reducing this area and also power, then we can improve the speed. The next one, it's a memory. You already know about the memory. So widely memory is divided into 2 types. One is a volatile and non-volatile memory. So in the non-volatile memory, we are having a random access and non-random access. So in non-volatile, we are having a EPROM, E square PROM, then flash memory. In read-only memory, we are having a PROM. Then in the RAM, we are divided into SRAM and DRAM. In non-random access, we can divide it into FIFO, LIFO, and shift registers and content addressable memories. These are the classification memories. So this is the basic memory architectures. So here we are having input lines, then in the output lines for M input and M output bits. Then to reduce the number of input and output, we have to use the decoders to reduce the number of inputs, because we decoder is having a n inputs, 2 power n outputs. So for n input, we can give the output as a 2 power n. So for that, we are using decoders. So this is the example for read-only memory. So this is the diode based ROM. The next one is a mass ROM. Next one is a mass ROM 2. Next one, it's a EPROM cell. So it's a electrically erasable PROM. So in ROM we cannot erase the memory, but in electrically erasable PROM we can erase the data by using UV light. Then next one, it's a read-write memories. So that's a RAM. So RAM is divided into two types. One is a static RAM, another one is a dynamic RAM. In the static RAM we can store the information by using a transistor, but in dynamic RAM we can store the information using the capacitance. Then this is the basic that's a content addressable static memory cell. Then these are the decoders. Then next one, it's a sense amplifier. We already know discuss about the sense amplifier. So this is a sense amplifier based RAM. So this is all about unit 4. Thank you.